Here we are again. Welcome to the Reliquary. Let's go. Oh, we came with Freddy.
When I opened that shipping container, I was expecting, I don't know, rats.
I wonder why we came with Freddy.
Yeah. Instead we have... Where the hell are we?
Maybe I should go talk to Freddy
say.
next.
Weren't we going to some kind of library?
This might not be safe. Why can't I select? Why is...
Maybe I shouldn't have brought you here.
I live for danger.
This isn't D&D, Freddy. Some of these idols, they mean business.
Do not start dissing D&D. There is literally no better preparation for facing a world of gods and magic. Plus, my initiative is ace.
You are such a nerd.
Speaking of, how much do you actually know about Hecate and this idol you're supposed to help?
Tell me.
Do you know anything about this Hecate? It's not a name that rings bells.
How much do you know about Hecate? Tell me about this Hecate.
Well, she was the goddess of witchcraft, the really dark kind.
Ooh.
Oh. But she's never really portrayed as evil. She was more of an outsider, lived alone, off in our little corner of the underworld. Do you think that's where we could be? Oh, that is so cool. Oh, I bet knowledge is important to her. It could be an angle if you talk to her.
You are amazing, but I'm going to say good idea.
That sounds good, yeah. Hey, Hecate! I love your library.
Mostly because I don't want to flirt with anyone
knowledge.
anymore, except for Persephone.
I bet you'll really appreciate a quality smartass.
I brought you for a reason, right?
Freddy.
We make a fine team, you and I.
Oh my god, I love Freddy too. Fuck! Maybe if I play this game a second time, we'll romance Freddy next, because I really like Freddy too. But I've set my heart on Persephone, okay? In this round. Next time, if I play this again on the channel, we'll go for Freddy.
The idol we're here to help is named Asterion.
And you know who that is, right?
Yes, he's like a
No.
big ox guy,
Should
right? Bull,
That's
yeah.
the Minotaur's real
The
name.
Minotaur, that's
you
his
know,
name.
big bullhead, horns, lives in a giant labyrinth.
Yeah.
Pan did not mention that.
Why am I not surprised?
This Minotaur. You don't think he might be dangerous, do you?
Yeah.
Well, traditionally he eats people, but he was also supposed to have been slain by the hero Theseus.
Well, not so slain after all. Pan says he has a problem with his love life.
Maybe he needs to stop eating all his girlfriends? Okay, I knew that sounded wrong the moment I said it.
We should go inside instead of standing out here in the fog.
It's more of a mist, really.
A mist potentially full of monsters.
Oh, I love their
In we
banter.
go, then. Are you really planning on doing that favor for Pan?
If I can.
If I can, sure. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Because Pan, that's why not?
I thought you were over that.
Okay. I hope you're right. Let's go meddle in someone's love life. What could go wrong?
Oh, so many things. Wow, you're... All I want to do is see you turn into a giant woman. A giant woman. Why is it so quiet all of a sudden?
I guess the Titan thing is literal, huh?
Mortals
Yo.
within the Reliquary. Who permits this intrusion, this sacrilege? This knowledge is not meant for the likes of you. I shall grind you into the dust from whence you came.
You're cool. Back
Listen,
up, lady!
I don't care who you are. One more word and I'll have you dancing a jig until your giant feet fall off.
Fuck yeah.
Grace...
No, I've had it with being
No!
threatened. Just once, I'd like to go somewhere and not be challenged to a fight.
You... are... Grace?
Yeah. Nice to meet you. I already like you. Oh, she's small.
Then Calliope is dead. Is that now? I thought that was not for another 11 months yet.
Whoa, really? You knew?
Wait, what? You knew Calliope was going to die?
No, I am not informed of this for another 11 months and 3 days.
Wow.
Or I could just tell you now?
That cannot be. It is written.
Well, it has been edited.
Yes, it's right here. Calliope joins Grace's band. They become friends. Months later, there is an automobile accident and...
An accident? No, that's not what happened.
Are you saying the books are wrong?
Yes. Seems so.
They're wrong about this. Calliope was murdered just a few days ago.
Stabbed,
That
though, I
is
think. Or shot.
Impossible.
I don't know what to tell you.
You will explain. We will both sit and you will explain. There will be tea.
I like it. Let's do it. I also like your little screamy
Curious.
faces on your outfit.
It is clear something unanticipated has occurred, something outside the realm of fate.
Is that even possible?
Yeah.
It is, but I must follow the threads back to their source to find the origin of the deviation. It may take years of research.
Years? I don't have years.
Why not just go
That
talk to the
is
Fates?
Unfortunate. If there is nothing else, I must ask you both to leave so I may begin at once.
Unless the Fates are dead.
Is there no way to speed that up? Whoever's behind it might be the murderer.
Such threads are not so easily untangled. I must consult the Moirai, if indeed they are not the ones responsible.
The Moy what?
You might know them as the
Fates, yeah.
They, or any beings of a sufficiently cosmic nature, have the power to undo the order of things.
That's what I was saying. Just talk to
Does
them.
not sound good.
Certainly not. They are also not beings I can summon at a whim to solve your mystery. I am sorry.
Actually, I came here to speak to Asterion. If, he is here.
A visitor for Asterion? How strange.
Oh. He got the big stompies.
Oh, are we doing guests? Is that a thing? I didn't know.
You're like the
Wow,
beast.
okay. Freddy was right.
As if there was any doubt.
My old friend, this is Grace. She is our muse from the line of Calliope, and it is she who asked for you.
I'm here for your love life.
That's right. I'm here to improve your love life. Or so I'm told.
Oh.
Did I say something wrong?
No love life needed here. Nah, you've got the wrong man. Man bull.
Okay.
There you have it, Grace. I believe now is the time when you leave.
No.
But there must be some mistake.
There is no mistake. Not this time.
I don't
Are
know.
you sure about that? Because I'm not going.
Oh my god, song time?
It is written.
Did you hear that? Pan sends me all this way and Asterion won't even talk to us?
Maybe there's another Asterion?
Yeah, more likely Pan's got me chasing my tail. This was pointless.
Well, I don't think we're getting back inside. Do you have another plan?
Yell. Sneak in. Use my powers. Go back to Pan. Use my powers.
I don't know if my powers will even work on Hecate, but it's worth a shot.
Ooh, a musical number.
Yeah.
Do you think this one could be, do you hear what I'm hearing?
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're still here? I had to run the entire... that's a long way, innit? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to send you away, alright? I just couldn't tell you, not in front of Kate.
You have a crush on her? Why not?
Why couldn't you... Wait. Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Yeah,
oh,
dude.
this is so great. I love this.
Me too.
I heard what you said about Calliope. I can help you. I really, really can. It has to be you. I am so in love with my dear sweet Kate. I just don't know how to tell her. Please, help me tell her.
Aw. So you're in love
Let
with
me
her.
get this straight. You're in love with Hecate. That Hecate.
Yeah, dude, she's
Oh,
awesome.
mate, Kate is... She's just the best. Like, she knows everything and she always smells so good. Like, she's so nice to me and she doesn't even have to be. Oh, we got stuck in the tower together because we can't live in the mortal world. I know I could make her happy. Well, I want to try. Oh, won't you help me?
Yeah, why not? Why not
Have you
talk to her?
tried, I don't know, talking to her about how you feel? I take that as a no.
I don't have the words. I've tried. Every time I end up knocking over a table or killing a cat or
No.
talking about how sometimes meat has that grisly texture I don't like.
You
Yeah.
killed her cat? Oh, no.
That's what I just
It
said.
was a small cat. I panicked. I'm just not good at words. Right? Really not good.
You're really the Minotaur.
Are you really the Minotaur? Like, the monster who roamed a maze and ate people?
And is supposed to be dead.
Well, my father locked me up in a labyrinth, but I never ate anyone.
Yeah, those are all
Oh. Well, that's good.
things.
Except Theseus. But he was a bellend.
Oh my god.
Do you really call Hecate Kate? Off topic, I know, but I have to ask.
Well, sometimes she has to go into the mortal world for a short time and do things for Athena.
And
her
Well,
name is
she
Kate.
had to make up a magic disguise, a new identity. And I thought she should give it a proper name.
And you suggested Kate?
Well, yeah, her name is
she
Kate.
really liked it. She said, "Thank you, Asterion."
okay, so you're in love with Hecate.
Uh-huh.
What is it you think I can do?
A muse knows about poetry and the heart and how to make words beautiful. All I want is to ask her, but I need good words. Please say you'll help me.
I'll help. What if she turns you
Hecate
down?
might say no. You know that, right?
Well, she probably will. I mean, she's Kate. And I'm me. But just
This legit
once,
feels like Beauty and the Beast.
I'd like to be able to ask her, to say it out loud instead of thinking it. I'll still help you. No matter what she says. I promise.
How?
I do this and you'll help me in return, right?
Athena made Kate swear she's not allowed to say anything about what happens at the tower. But she never made me swear.
Ooh, a loophole.
Maybe she never thought anyone would ask. But I'll tell you. Even if Kate doesn't like it, I'll tell you.
Really?
If I do this first.
If you help me, any trouble will be worth it.
I don't know. Doesn't this feel a little weird?
I don't think
Which
it does.
part?
Helping him woo her with my powers.
Well, you can't force anyone,
You
though.
heard what Pan said. You can't make anyone do anything they don't want to do.
Yeah.
You can only make them say what's in their heart.
Yeah, we're just opening up a pathway of
that's the part
communication.
I can't do.
Yeah. I don't think it's weird to be, like, the mediator in this situation where, like, he's struggling to communicate his feelings, so I'm opening up a pathway for him.
I can't say I'm exactly sure what to do.
Can't you just, start the music?
Yeah, but to do what?
Oh, leave that to me. I am so excited about this, I can't even stand it.
What exactly did you have in mind, Freddy?
Oh my god, yes, here we go.
Vibe and you go for it.
I'm not great at words. I'm more of a dancer.
Just speak from the heart. Be honest.
You can do it.
You cast a spell on me. Not literally, obviously. But I feel in summary, you and me are meant to be. 'Cause you put a hex on me. You didn't do it to me directly. I'm not blaming you specifically, just that metaphorically. Shit, can someone help me?
It's okay. Okay, what are some of the things you love about her?
Hecate, with you there's so much to love. Oh, I'm not saying you're fat.
Just say that. Tell her something she doesn't know about herself.
Okay, T, to me, you know you enrapture?
Oh, good word.
Is your pallid skin, your lips are so thin, your love of books.
Asterion, I have but one thought. Why is it that you seem so distraught? Are you saying you're in love with me? You couldn't possibly. Really?
Oh, you're doing great. Give it another go.
Yeah, you got it, dude. You can do it.
Cast a spell on me. It's a feeling that's killing me. But let's say categorically, okay, T, it's just you and me.
I cannot hide from my reality. I can't help but think it's best that you forget me.
Uh-oh.
I feel so little joy. My want is to destroy. You will come to resent me.
Nah.
I'm truly fond of you. Yet now it appears that you love me. How can you be so sure? What is my allure? Tears are near certain.
I could never make you cry.
It's
No,
not
she's saying for
my
you.
Tears I fear. What if I lose you?
Couldn't. Oh, I feel so powerless.
Let me be crystal clear. Do you believe this love of yours shall persevere?
What if he likes the pain?
Despite all, it won't face, it won't disappear. My virtues are few, and if we see this through, the pain that we share may be too severe.
Oh, of course she sings my song better than I do. Help me!
Freddy, you gotta step in.
Yeah, you said you wanted
You're
to.
just as qualified as I am. Hecate, I'd say he's really put himself out there. No, he cannot undo. It's a brave thing to do. Wish I had his daring. Well, don't saying that I've missed out before. Last chances rushed out that exit door. I could never let my heart be heard, and it's withering. Now I'm reconsidering.
I have always counted on you to speak to me honestly. You're at my beck and call.
I feel like I'm fucking this up.
Never thanked you at all, and yet you still love me. I let travelers know which way to go, but it bothers me. My own path I forego, always seemed apropos. Yet where has this led me?
Maybe one step across the line will weave its own spell in given time.
The thought with which I must contend is, can I love my best friend?
Yes!
Yes.
Do it! Fucking Freddy in the corner, did you see her? Ah! That was so funny.
Asterion,
Kate?
it seems
Oh, whoa.
you've cast a spell on me.
You will not regret this.
Not yet. It is written. You've cast a spell on me. To think I shall have my own story. You've cast a spell on me. And we shall write it together. You've cast a spell on me. A tale of romance and glory. You've cast a spell on me. But do we have enough leather? You cast a spell on me.
She eats him. cute! Oh my god, that's so fucking cute.
Well, that was diverting. You felt this way the entire time, Asterion, and you said nothing?
I didn't think I was worthy. I mean, look at me. I'm only, half a man.
You have been a devoted friend over the long and lonely years, Asterion. I only wish I had realized sooner we could have been more. As for you, Grace, I thank you for arranging this diversion, however it came to pass.
Wasn't it written?
I don't get it. Didn't you know this would happen? Wasn't it written? Of course it was. It was also written that I would be unaware of Asterion's feelings until he spoke them to me.
But you knew that.
I follow the rules. It is written.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I'm happy
glad
it
to
worked
see
out.
someone happy, finally.
That would be me.
I am also not displeased by this course of events.
Wow, look at you. Living the wildlife.
Come, Asterion, I wish to speak of this further, and find an appropriate outfit.
Oh my god.
Wait for me outside, yeah?
Yeah.
How
Oh,
long
that was
are we
so
supposed to
cute.
wait? It's been over an hour.
I'm sure it's
mean-
fine, Grace. I doubt the Minotaur would break his promise.
They're probably, you know.
What'd I tell you?
Whew. You still here? I'm sorry. Kate had a lot to say.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, I'll bet she did.
Yeah, well, Kate wants us to talk about our feelings more. And there, of course, was tea.
Of course.
Right,
He's awesome.
so I suppose you want to know how Calliope broke into the Reliquary that night.
She
Oh, what?
did what?
No, we didn't know anything about that. Do you mean the night she died?
Oh, well, I thought you already knew. Yeah, the night Calliope died, she broke in somehow.
Wow.
Thing is, we know she didn't take anything or even touch anything. I just remember the alarms, and I chased after her.
How do you know
How do
nothing
you
was
know
taken?
Calliope didn't touch or take anything?
Kate knows everything in the Reliquary, right down to the last book. She's been looking, but she can't figure if anything was touched. It makes her so mad not to know. And it made Athena pretty mad too.
You don't say.
Athena got involved?
Yeah, when Kate finally told her, Athena wants Kate to keep investigating, but it doesn't look good.
So Athena knows.
Athena knows what happened here the night Calliope died?
I'm telling you, dude, it was
Yeah,
Athena.
Kate told her a day or so later, I think. We didn't know Calliope died that night, though.
What? Athena didn't mention it?
Nope. Not that that's weird. She's not the chatty type, you know. She came in all quiet and cool, wanted to know who was here that night and what Calliope might have wanted. She swore Kate to silence. Not me, though. Guess she's not as smart as Kate.
Did you ever find
You
her?
chased Calliope, but did you ever catch up with her?
No. If I'd have caught her, I'd have brought her back and Kate would have gotten answers out of her. All I know is that she was hurt, bleeding bad, but I don't know why. I wanted to help her, but she
Calliope
got away
was
in the
bleeding?
fog. Then I ran into Medusa.
Oh,
Wait, what? Medusa?
Medusa.
Yeah. Well, she's not normally here. I think maybe she was chasing after Calliope too.
What was Medusa doing here?
She was chasing after Calliope too, I think, but she wouldn't say why. I asked. She never got into the Reliquary though. She was just out here in the fog.
Couldn't Medusa have broken in like Calliope did?
Yeah, but I chased Calliope from the Reliquary. If Medusa had been there, I would have seen her.
Huh. How was Calliope wounded?
How could Calliope have been wounded?
It couldn't have been Medusa, like I said. She never got close.
But Calliope was wounded inside the reliquary?
That's where the blood was. We don't have anything that would attack anyone, though.
Interesting.
So someone else. But they did it inside the reliquary.
If so, they vanished after.
The fuck?
Did you say the Reliquary has alarms? Like burglar alarms, cameras?
Oh, no, nothing like that. It just has a lot of protections. You know, magic.
I don't know magic, actually.
Oh, well, it's just meant to keep the dangerous stuff from being touched. It was set off, so something happened in the Reliquary. We just, don't know what exactly.
Huh.
Those alarms don't go off if someone breaks into the Reliquary? They don't detect intruders?
Well, normally nobody does that.
Calliope did. Someone else could have.
Yeah, but the alarms are just to protect all the books and relics. That's it. Whatever Calliope did here, it was enough to set off the alarms. That's all I know.
Interesting.
What relics are there? Maybe Calliope was looking for one, but couldn't find it before...
Yeah, that I'm not supposed to say.
Oh?
Do you have the Golden Fleece, the Shield of Zeus, the Sword of Damocles? Is it suspended?
You know a lot about that stuff for a mortal.
So it's all real?
I can neither confirm nor deny any of that. All I know is that nothing got used and nothing got taken.
All right,
This
thank you.
means Calliope came here the night she died. This is where she was attacked.
But we don't know by whom.
Well, this is the second time Medusa's name has come up. That can't be a coincidence.
Winkety.
She's super scary, but, you know she works for Athena, right?
Yeah.
I thought maybe that's why she was here, but Athena said she didn't know about it.
Oh.
That does seem suspicious.
If that's all you need, then I have to go. Kate will be so mad if she finds me gone. Good luck, Muse.
That either means Athena is
You okay
lying
there,
or
friendo?
Medusa really did something that Athena didn't know about. And, like, she's being honest, but I don't know.
I'm okay. We learned a lot. I just wish I knew why Calliope was here in the first place.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe that's a question for Medusa.
True. I know where to find her.
One thing at a time, Grace. You'll figure it out. I know you will.
I guess so. Next thing is to go back to Pan. Tell him his favor is done.
What an adventure.
Sorry?
You're just lucky, Grace. Luckier than you think. You go do what you have to, and I'll meet you back at the apartment, okay?
Okay. I
Pan,
feel like I might see Persephone
I
after
hope you're
this.
here, because I don't know where else to look for you.
Of course I'm here, Grace. Where else would I be but amongst the trees and the wild things?
At the club?
I really must thank you, by the by. Asterion is simply over the moon, and he's already repaid me with this select tome from the Reliquary.
There's always a catch. You're welcome.
You're welcome. You might have warned me what his love life issue was.
What was it? Asterion wouldn't say.
You really didn't know?
It was exhausting trying to get the poor fellow to admit as much as he did. At any rate, you seem to have worked it out. I trust you got what you needed. More grist for the mill of your innocence, as it were.
I learned a lot.
It's quite the coincidence. The place you sent me just happens to be the place Calliope was attacked.
That is quite the coincidence. You must be very grateful.
I feel like he knows more than he's letting on.
It's just hard to trust a coincidence that big.
You have no reason to be suspicious. I know nothing of what happened to Calliope at the Reliquary. I suppose the question at the heart of this is, do you believe me?
Not entirely, no. I'm trying to, but here's the thing. I think he does know more than he's letting on. But, because, I mean, he was the first one to contact us, so I feel like he saw something, but he doesn't know everything. But he knows more than anyone else. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he has all the answers, but I think he has more answers than most of the other idols.
I'm trying to, Pan, but you make this really hard.
Ah, yes. Doubt. What a fascinating concept, and an excellent reason to hesitate. Alas, it is my burden to be
hecate?
forever condemned by
Sorry.
my idle brethren. I've become accustomed to it. Truly. I've never lied to you, Grace, and I never shall. If you're looking for innocence, however, well, I'm afraid that's one thing I cannot provide.
And if I can't accept that? If I find out you're somehow involved in this?
You'll do what you do, and I'll do what I do, and we'll see where that takes us.
You do you, and I'll do me, and we won't do each other, probably. To quote Markiplier. I still need your help.
If you're still up for trading favors, I could use more help.
Oh, of course you could. You could live the high life, Grace. Throw caution to the wind. Embrace what you can before you...
Before I die? You don't have any hope for me, do you? You're just taking what you can get before it's over.
I've seen this story many times, Grace. I've told this story many times. And it always ends the same way.
What's the point of even getting to know me then? Right?
I would love to talk to Persephone. I feel like I should talk to Freddy, but like, I'm trying to romance Persephone, so.
Back from your visit to the Reliquary?
Yo, what
How
up?
did you know I was there?
Athena was ranting about it when I left her. She's none too pleased about you breaking the rules.
Wait, what?
Let's hope what you learned was worth it.
What rule did I break?
Medusa was at the Reliquary that night. You don't intend to confront her directly, do you?
Of course I do. Of course!
I have to know why she was there. She could have been the one who attacked Calliope.
She could. And she could also attack you. I wouldn't put it past her. Still, while I hate to say it, confronting Medusa may be your best option.
You wanna come with?
You could come with me when I talk to her.
Yeah.
Trust me, if I'm anywhere within a mile, she'll have vanished by the time you so much as knock on her door.
Be 2 miles away.
Just lie to me and say you'll be careful. On a different matter, I've had time to do some thinking. I may have been too dismissive after Aphrodite's party. You no doubt have many questions about the Eidolon and Calliope's memories.
Yeah?
Apollo told me a little about it. He did say I should talk to you, though.
Did he now? Is there anything you'd like to ask?
How many times have you died?
How many times have you died? Can I ask that?
We call it passing on. I've lost track of just how many times I've passed on my Eidolon. A dozen? It's happened less often in more recent eras.
And
Why
the
you do
one
it?
you told me about, the woman married to that gangster, she was the most recent?
I don't think of Chastity as a she. That was me, just as the one my husband blasted with a shotgun was also me. It was one of the few times I wasn't able to prepare my successor.
Ah.
We were friends, yes, but I didn't know what Persephone was, and I had no idea what I'd just become.
So very similar to
That
me.
must have been difficult.
It was more difficult taking over my dead husband's territory. Women weren't often mobsters in those days.
Were you really a gangster? I've heard it said, but it sounds...
Sounds
Let
what?
me put it this way. I felt as if I'd been blessed by a dying woman who saved me from a prison of my own making. I didn't know what I was, but I was free.
Cool.
I felt more alive than I'd ever felt before, and strong enough to toss an ox 10 feet. Did I set out to become a mobster? Not exactly. My husband's friends thought I'd murdered him, however, so they came after me. And
course.
one thing led to another.
Oh, I see.
Athena found me just as my memories were starting to return. I wasn't permitted to continue doing something so noticeable, so I was carted off to Olympus.
I
It's
see.
too bad, really. I was an excellent mobster.
I mean, technically you still are. They said you're a crime lord, right? It's like the same thing. Is it possible to die forever?
Wait, you said that Persephone passed on her Eidolon as she lay dying. What if she had just died?
The Eidolon will keep us alive for a time, even in the most horrific circumstances, in hopes that there's someone to pass it on to.
Oh, really?
What if there isn't? What if Chastity had died before you were shot?
Well, then the line of Persephone would have ended then and there.
Huh.
Oh, there are some stories that say an Eidolon will go wandering, that it never really dies. And who knows if there's any truth to that.
Where would it go, though?
It's not exactly something we've had the opportunity to study. All we know is that many idols have left us forever. They've died, and that's how it happens.
Okay.
When all these memories start to return, will I feel different?
First, you'll have dreams. Places you've never been, people you've never met. But unlike with normal dreams, these will linger. Then they will come while you're awake. Sudden flashes or snippets of déjà vu. And sometimes it will seem so real you'll swear you're hallucinating. If there's anything difficult about the process, is that it becomes hard to differentiate between your life and all these other lives you're now recalling.
It does sound confusing.
Confusing and often unpleasant, as not all the memories will be fond ones. But that will pass in time.
Huh.
You said it becomes hard to differentiate your life from the others. How hard, exactly? It'll still be me, right?
Oh, how do I explain this? Grace, would you say that you are who you are because of your experiences? The things you've lived and done?
Partially.
I guess so, sure.
Well, all the things Calliope has done, and those before her, will now be yours. They will feel like a part of your life as well. Thus, they can't help but shape you. The Grace that is now will be and will have done so much more. Fortunately, you don't have to deal with every memory. Each time the Eidolon passes on, the oldest memories fade.
Really?
And that helps.
If that's the case, then technically, at a certain point, Aphrodite, so they say that, like, Aphrodite passing on her Eidolon every single time is not doing anything. Like, it's not getting any better. It's the same thing over and over again. But if what Persephone just said is true, then after a certain amount of pass-ons, right, those really terrible memories that give her panic attacks would eventually fade, right? If what Persephone is saying is true. So, like, I don't know how long that would take, but, like, perhaps it was a bad choice then for us to prevent her from passing on. You know what I mean?
Wait, how is it good that old memories start to fade?
Think of how old we are, Grace. If all those memories returned to you with perfect clarity, they would destroy you.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean you've all forgotten so much?
Well, far more than we remember. The further I think back, the more it becomes a bit of a blur, actually.
I mean, it's like real life.
You'll recall important moments. Some will be mixed up with the stories mortals tell, and you won't be sure which is the memory and which is the story. An idol's memory is a series of islands in a dark ocean, and they become smaller and smaller as they recede into the horizon. It sounds dire, but you become accustomed to it. It just takes time. And now you have all the time in the world.
Is that not just how
That's a
memory
lot to
works in
consider.
general?
Assuming I'll even have time to worry about it, what with the trial coming.
Either the trial will end poorly, in which case all of this is moot, or it will end well, and you will have plenty of time to digest.
Yeah, thanks for the update.
I'm a realist, Grace. It's what I'm best at. Now then, unless you've something else to ask?
I guess I do, technically. I want to know about Hades for sure. Also, that whole, like, are your experiences the thing that make you? And she's like, I guess so. I think that's that whole, like, nature versus nurture thing, and I honestly believe that it's a mixture of that, because I do think there are core things that are you. You know what I mean? Like, when you watch babies, right? If you are lucky enough to know a baby and watch them grow into an adult, there are things that they, like, did or reacted to, or just the way that they are, that, like, is a line through their entire life, regardless of nurture, right? That is their nature. Like me, for instance, I have always been an introvert. When I was a baby, I was very well behaved and everything. I was very quiet. I was cool playing by myself. That has not changed ever in my life. I love being alone. I love being by myself. It's great. And I love playing solo games. I really don't like playing co-op games, stuff like that. Like, that is something that is innate in me. It has always been. Also, I've always been a crybaby, ever since I was a baby. Like, yes, I was a quiet baby, but, like, if something upset me, I would cry. As a little kid, I was told that I cry too much. I would get made fun of for that. Even as an adult, people are like, you're too emotional, you're too sensitive. And I'm like, I have literally always been like that since I can remember. And I have always been made fun of it. Like, people have always made fun of me for crying. I just cry a lot, okay? That's what I do. I feel things very deeply and very intensely. And big emotions call for the big cries, okay? So I cry a lot. Shut up. There's nothing wrong with that. But, like, that's something that is also true of my character throughout my entire life. No matter how much people have tried to get me to not cry and to socialize more, those two things remain true since I was a child. Since I was a little tiny baby. And my mother told me stories about me as a baby and stuff. So, like... And, like, even friends that I've had, like, during recess on the playground, like, I would always spend time by myself and I would just, like, observe other kids or just, like, kind of do my own thing. And people were always like, she's so weird because she doesn't want to play with other kids. And I'm just like, I just enjoy, like, watching other people have fun. Why do I have to participate in it? They're all having fun, and that makes me happy. And I'm over here in my own little daydreamy world, not in reality. Being alone, and I'm totally happy that way. But, like, I would get in so much trouble for that because everyone's like, that's so strange. She needs to socialize. Fuck that shit. No, I don't. I don't like socializing. Don't force people to socialize if they don't want to. Anyways. I think that there are some things that are innately you, regardless of what people try to teach you to be, or how to act, or how to think. You are going to be you, regardless of that. But I do also think that you can be taught certain things. Like, if you are feeling kind of neutral about something, there's not something that you are, but you're also not that thing. I do think that nurture can sway you one way or the other. But if you are, like, very strongly something, naturally, nothing can sway you from that. You know what I mean? So, that's my thoughts on nature versus nurture. And so I think what is you is a combination of what is actually you and what you've experienced. Therefore, I don't necessarily think that Grace will lose herself, because she would be Grace regardless. But because she's also a god now, and she's going to be getting Calliope's memories, like, I wonder if that also means she's going to be getting some of her core personality traits, and that is the thing that would change Grace from being 100% Grace with someone else's memories. Do you know what I mean? Like, if she is actually becoming Calliope, like, their personalities and their core aspects of their natural selves are, like, melding together slowly, that is the thing that would change her to become not really Grace, but not really Calliope anymore either. Do you know what I mean? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Tell me about Hades.
Are you willing to talk about Hades? If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm just
incredibly curious how I ended up murdering my husband.
Yes.
That, yeah.
You know, one might think that my hatred of Hades began when he kidnapped me and forced me to be his bride. But honestly, that wasn't it. I hated my brothers and sisters for letting it happen, but Hades himself terrified me. He had a presence. I mean, one that forever made him the most important man in the room.
Except for Zeus.
And me? Oh, I was nothing in comparison. When Hades began doting on me, trying to earn my favor, I swooned that he might deign to think of me that way. For centuries, I actually thought I was in love, that the kidnapping was the best thing that ever happened to me. It's funny how our perspectives change.
Yeah. This is a very interesting little twist on their story, and I'm intrigued.
If you got along with Hades for so long, what changed?
I mean, he was abusive.
I grew up.
Yeah.
I was a trophy for Hades. A conquest that he expected to remain meek and unchanging.
He tried to groom her.
He went out of his way to keep me small.
That's how it works.
I slowly realized that, he'd always been that way. Manipulation and arrogance behind the handsome sneer. We battled for centuries. I hated him, and I told him so, but he refused to part with me. He declared that I was his and would stay in the underworld where I belonged.
And that's when you killed him?
That's when I killed him, yes. The first time one idol had ever murdered another. Thank you very much.
Makes sense.
I'm guessing the other idols weren't thrilled with you killing Hades.
Well, yeah, they didn't know what to do with me. And Athena was furious that the most powerful remaining idol had been lost. See, this was before the war and before all the new rules. The chorus had never once contemplated execution, but they certainly considered it then. In the end, they decided it was better to humiliate me. They ensured I did not benefit from Hades' murder, and stripped the throne I had wrested from his grasp.
I mean, you're free of him,
weren't
so...
happy about.
I asked them where they were all those years while I pleaded for help. I was held captive, and what was I expected to do? What, lie down and take it forever because Hades was more useful to them alive?
Fuck that shit.
No. I stopped doing what was expected of me the day I slit his throat. May he rot in Tartarus with the Titans for all eternity.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is they're like, you're not going to benefit from Hades' death. And if I were in her situation and I had done what she'd done, I'd be like, I actually do benefit from this because he's no longer in my life. So fuck him.
How did you go from ruling the underworld to opening a nightclub named after it?
I won it in a bet with Dionysus, god of merriment.
I love
There has to be a
Dionysus.
story there.
Well, the story is that he was a fool, but a charming one with many patrons. They built him a nightclub as his personal playground. And it was a grand old time for Dionysus in the 1970s, I assure you, but he didn't know how to run a business. By the time disco was ready to die, so was his stupid club. So I offered to make it profitable. If I succeeded, he would turn ownership over to me. He accepted because, frankly, all he wanted to do was drink anyhow.
Of course.
I was successful. The club became mine, and I kicked Dionysus out for never paying his tab.
Oh my god, can we
Sucks
meet
to be
him?
him.
Dionysus ever sobers up, he might decide to be sore about it, but so far, that hasn't happened.
There's a song called Cult of Dionysus. I'm blanking on the band right now. Damn. But I highly recommend it. I love that song. And that's playing in my head right now because they're talking about it. What's the deal with you and Apollo?
What's the deal between you and Apollo? The way you two fight.
I've told you how he and the other idols stood by and let me rot with Hades, did I not?
Yes.
It seems more personal than that.
Okay, there's an old saying that no one escapes the underworld. But that's not true. I did. Once. Not long after Hades kidnapped me. I was homesick, and I missed my mother. Charon took pity on me and allowed me across the Styx. And after that, Grace, I waded through darkness itself to get out of there. Hades chased after me relentlessly, but I evaded him, right up until I got to the very slopes of Olympus. And who do you suppose was the first idol I met?
Apollo.
Uh-oh.
Apollo stood there, I cried out to him, begging him not to let Hades take me, and yet Apollo did as he has always done. Absolutely nothing. Hades was thrilled, and I knew then and there I could never rely on my so-called family for anything, ever again.
Feel that, girl. I'm glad I chose to romance her. Tell me about
Tell
Calliope.
me more about Calliope. You and her were good friends, right?
We were.
And
if you had told me a decade ago that I would become close to one of the muses, I would have laughed in your face. I always considered them Apollo's creatures. Calliope, Clio, and Talia. Vapid, frivolous gods who handed off their eidolon to any artist who took their fancy. Every time I met one of them, they were someone else. Apollo called them the Sisters of Beauty, no matter their gender. Can you imagine that? That's such a stupid name.
I never thought of that. Do idols change gender a lot?
Sure, why not?
And we tend to seek out successors like ourselves, but it happens. With the muses, it happened frequently. Everywhere Apollo went, they surrounded him like a gaggle of ducklings, just like him to gather his own fans.
I mean, he does look like the lead singer of Look at this photograph. That was a terrible rendition. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Who the fuck is that? Nickelback? He looks like that guy.
If you disliked the muses so much, how did you end up becoming friends with Calliope?
Well, she sought me out. She'd become more and more unhappy on Olympus, so she decided to leave just as I had, long before. Calliope asked for my help, and I laughed in her face. Go ask one of your sycophant mortals, I told her. I mean, surely one of them has some threadbare couch you can sleep on.
Wow.
Typically, she was undeterred. She didn't just want a place to stay. She said she wanted to learn how to be truly independent from an idol who had mastered it.
Hell yeah.
What can I say? I mean, I am a sucker for a well-timed compliment. I took her in. Apollo was furious. He and Calliope were barely speaking, but he was certain she'd come crawling back to Olympus. Oh, it made taking her in all the sweeter.
After you took Calliope in, that's when you became friends?
Well, no, not right away. I wasn't looking for a friend. What I was looking for was an opening act in the club.
Ah.
Calliope entertained here for years, and then eventually turned from performing to attracting new acts. She was in her element. She and I, we warmed up to each other eventually. She was more capable than I expected, and I adored her furious rants.
Calliope didn't seem like the furious type when I met her. It's hard to picture.
Oh, then you didn't really meet her. She was an idealist, and nobody could ever quite live up to her standards for very long. Her brothers and sisters, least of all. The idols needed to change, she said. They were withering away in the shadows, diminished and unwilling to save their own skins. When I joined the chorus, she expected me to change everything, as if I could single-handedly override Athena. I was to be her champion, and together we would bring revolution to the idols.
And that's why Athena killed her.
I was yet another disappointment. She left the club, but I gave her a place to live. We were supposed to stay in touch, but you know how it went from there.
I'm telling you, it's Athena. It feels so obvious. And the fact that it feels so obvious is the reason why it would be amazing if Athena was the red herring and it was someone else completely, like... Athena feels so obvious, but, like, what if it was Apollo? Like, what if there are signs the entire time and we just didn't read them as signs because we're reading it as something else, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, all signs point to Athena. But that ends up being like a red herring. But I'm telling you, it just feels like if Athena's willing to do anything to protect the gods, then that would mean even from themselves. I just feel like that is Athena's personality. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she would be like, if I have to kill you to protect you, I will do it. I feel like that's her. What happened to the other muses?
What happened to the other muses? You mentioned 2 others. Were they lost in the war?
One of them was, though not like you think. The day we were to leave on the ship, Talia simply never showed up.
Do you know what happened to her?
We never heard from her again. Apollo thrashed about in mourning, but, Talia had been fading away for years. It wasn't a surprise to the rest of us.
What about the other muse, Cleo?
Died long before. A victim at the hands of a mortal man, when she no longer possessed the power to bedazzle him. As I understand it, he kept her in a cage as a pet until her eidolon shriveled up and perished. It was dead before she was.
Aww.
Ugh, that's pretty dark.
That's so sad.
Yes, well, we come by our wariness of mortals honestly, Grace.
That makes sense.
I'd like to know a little more about the idols. I am one now, right?
What constitutes a little more in this instance?
Everything.
Well, what are we? Where did we come from? If an idol is a soul that moves from person to person, it must have started somewhere, right?
Ah, the big question.
Yeah.
To which the answer is, nobody knows. I remember the original Persephone only vaguely. Indeed, I'm not even certain she was the original. Was there something before her? How did she get her eidolon? I couldn't tell you. Evidently, we wrote little down in those early days, or were forbidden to, and our memories only stretch back so far. Anything beyond that simply isn't.
Okay.
Isn't it strange to not know where you come from? For all you know, the idols could be aliens.
Aliens? Grace, you watch too many movies.
Gods are okay, but aliens are just wacky fiction.
Fine, yes. It is strange. No, our earliest days aren't the only blanks in our memories, however. We have many. And the last was the day Zeus called us all together to tell us Rome had fallen and we should prepare for war. But did that war occur? I couldn't tell you. The last thing I remember after Rome was 1,000 years later, in the 16th century. I was in a different body, feeling as if no time at all had passed. Athena calls that period the gap. And that's what it feels like. All of us experienced it, and not one of us knows why or how.
That's interesting.
The gap you mentioned. What was that like? Did you just wake up one day, or...
And you were stuck in a mall?
I wasn't asleep. I lived. I had lives. I passed on my eidolon. I may have known who I was and what I was, but perhaps I was completely unaware. All I know is that one day, Athena came to my nunnery. Near Trieste, I think. The moment that I saw her, all the old memories came flooding back. My life during the gap was wiped away in an instant, and it never returned.
Really?
If someone did that to us, they were powerful indeed.
Perhaps Athena?
What about Athena? I mean, she's the one who found you, right? She must have been aware.
Athena woke up on her own. Or so she claims.
So she claims.
And spent the next century rounding up those idols who remained.
Exactly.
Zeus, however, was gone. What became of him, what happened in Rome, we've never pieced it together. It's troubling.
Isn't it? I swear to God it's Athena.
Tell me more about the war. It seems to have had a huge effect on all of you.
That's putting it mildly.
From Aphrodite's song, I know Ares betrayed everyone. What did you do?
Honestly, after my mother was murdered, I barely remember.
Aww.
Your mother?
Her name was Demeter. Not truly my mother, but an idol who had always cared for me since the early days. I thought we'd be together forever. Then Ares brought those filthy bastards down on us. Demeter was slain by bullets. Until that day, I had believed we were untouchable.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. That must have been hard to lose her like that.
I watched her fall, heard her scream. I would have run to her, but I was pulled away to safety. By Hermes, I think. Whatever was left of the old Persephone, the innocent girl with the long hair who loved her gardens. She died with Demeter that day. After that, I don't know. We went from hiding place to hiding place. I didn't even know what Hephaestus had done for us when I found myself on a boat. We might have been gods once, but after the war, we were just refugees, like so many others, fleeing to a distant land.
That's so sad.
Was it hard for the idols to come to the new world? It's just a place like any other, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't the place that was hard, it was the fear. We knew we were vulnerable. We knew mortals could and would kill us. Suddenly, there were rules. We had to be secret. We had to stay close together. We huddled in the shadows and quaked each time the mortals so much as breathed in our direction. We couldn't all live that way. Some of us drifted away, faded into the night without so much as an explanation. That's what's been the hard part. Our inevitable decline in a place where we don't belong. We can pass on our eidolons as often as we like, but it will never truly be home.
That's all I can think of for now. I'll see you around.
Oh yes, that's where I'll be. Around.
I am pretty sure that is what Calliope wanted to change. Because I think Calliope could tell that they just are declining more and more. Like, they just keep dying, they keep not living, right? Like, they're not really living life. They're all... I fucking hate this phrase, but they're all living in fear. So, like, they're not living openly. They're not allowed to exist, so they have to hide themselves. And I think Calliope was fucking tired of that shit. And Athena, who's trying to protect everyone, was like, bitch, you better not. And then killed her. That is my working theory right now. I am so certain that it is Athena. Ever since the beginning, I was like, it's Athena. She's the one that did it. Like, I just had a feeling. I was like, it's her. That makes the most sense. You're the one that's in power. You're the head of everything. It makes sense that it's you. And the more information we're getting, the more I'm like, it's absolutely Athena. It has to be Athena. Otherwise, like I said, it's a really, really good red herring. I don't think it's a red herring, though. I think it's Athena. I think Athena killed her. How? I don't know. And exactly why, I'm not really sure. Like, I don't know what Calliope did that was super, like, so threatening that Athena was like, I have to do it right now. But I do think that Calliope was a threat to what Athena wanted, which is to protect everyone. I think it was Athena, okay? And I think Calliope was a threat to that, to whatever Persephone wanted, which is protecting them. And change, which often is the case. Anyways, that's my working theory. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it could be someone else? Do you see any evidence that points to anyone else? Because right now I'm not seeing evidence that points to anyone else except for Athena. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for joining, for hanging out, for, I don't know, singing along maybe. The lyrics are there. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for joining. Bye!